Okay, Jessica. No, just YouTube. I'm gonna just try to figure this out on YouTube first. See if Jessica hears it.
I'm not getting a notification, but it's fine.
Let's go to the Mountain Stairs channel.
There it is. I got the notification.
Do you hear Ryan talking? No, just YouTube. I'm gonna just try to figure this out on YouTube first. See if Jessica hears it. Let's go to the Mountain Stairs channel. Do you hear Ryan talking? Hmm. His lips are moving? Yeah, I hear you just fine. His lips are moving? Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, it shouldn't have anything to do with it, I don't think. Mhm. Yes. I mean, it shouldn't have anything to do with it, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just looking through all the settings. Just looking through all the settings, and I just don't see collab cam. It says monitor only. Talk now.
Talk now?
Hmm.
Okay, I'm talking. What do you want to hear? Jessica, want to hear me do like a little song and dance?
Somebody, we love when you sing and dance.
Always, always.
Ryan sings and dance. Oh,
Can she hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now.
yeah.
Yeah, you can hear me on YouTube.
I got it.
Yes.
Sweet.
What happened?
So there's like this weird setting that says monitor only, mute output. And
Oh,
so I
that's what it
turned it
was.
to monitor and output.
And now you can
So
hear me.
now we're good.
Well, that's all we needed. We
Yeah,
got
thanks.
this.
I'll be upstairs.
So, what do I do?
Cool.
Okay.
All right, so let's get back at this. My dog
Oh,
is in the way,
yeah, but
man.
he's a little tiny dog. If it was my
He is,
Oscar, it'd be like all over me.
right?
I had to shut the door so Oscar couldn't come in.
Oh yeah, I was going to share this on Facebook real quick.
Okay. If you share it out to Facebook, then others will know. Or is it live
Sure.
streaming onto Facebook?
Yeah, you can live stream it to Facebook. I just don't know. I
At the
gotta
same
figure out how to
time?
do that. I thought I was a tech guy, but I am not.
Yeah, that's what
I'm
I
clearly
thought.
not a
Like
tech guy.
that's why I'm like DJ's got this. Go for it, DJ. Um, but you must be able to only do one at a time.
No, I was supposed to be able to do um a few at a time. So
Maybe you
I don't
have to
know.
do the paid version to do that. Are you still running the free
Oh
version?
no, I got the paid version
Oh, so that's not the case.
because I want
So
all the goodies. Ah, whatever. We're just go. I'll just
we're
share it.
going like this. Can you do video? Can you pull other like? Can you pull one of the videos up and put it on here so like
I can um
we try that?
maybe. That's asking a lot out of me right now.
Well, maybe. I mean, we might as well try. What's the worst that's going to happen here? We got to restart this thing. Well, that's horrible.
True,
We've only done it 3 times already tonight.
right? Yeah, let's see. Let's see if we can do that. Um, Do you have a link to one of these things? Let me see if I can
Oh, that
pull it
is a
up.
good idea.
I bet I can pull it up.
Bam. If I go.
Do you think anyone's done a YouTube video on it? Or
Well, I mean, I've just seen the Facebook ones. I don't know about YouTube. Does Duffy have a YouTube channel, or is he just doing
I think he's just doing what he's doing, which is the
Facebook,
gram.
Instagram, or? Let's just see if I can. Just see if I can.
Okay, I shared the wrong video. Dude, I'm just on one tonight. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay. Trust system. Did you find one? Do I need to
No, I
go?
haven't found one. I have not found one.
Avalanche one. That's who he is. That's what he is. Avalanche one here. Let's get this out. I mean, there was. Let's see. We'll get this video. I mean, T Diz did it back in 2012, apparently. But
It's true. T Diz has been doing it a long time. If you want to know if something's went down,
yeah,
that guy's like
just
an
all
encyclopedia of the snowmobiler world, right?
right. I'm gonna share you the one where he was like,
Yeah, hit me a link up and I'll see if I can pull it into here and we can
where
watch it.
he just laid down in the ground, right? Not where he got buried, but we're gonna copy link, send it over here to DJ. Okay, so this is just where he laid down in the ground, right?
Hmm.
And bam, bam. Wonder if there is one on YouTube where avalanche airbag does it work? Um, well, there's plenty of videos of people showing that it works. Uh, maybe it didn't work.
Let's see here. Looks like I gotta log into my Facebook real
It's
quick.
Facebook. Yeah, the videos, all the videos I've seen have been on Facebook, right?
Yep.
And so I'm not seeing anything on YouTube as far as that video goes, but I sent you that one. Um,
So these videos are going around. You're in the snow. You're trying to deploy your airbag.
yeah.
But when do we
Well,
deploy our
like
airbag? Like, why is this
I
whole
think
thing weird?
so. I think this it started from this one guy that like jumped off the snow, landed on his back, pulled his airbag, and it didn't deploy. He pulled it like 3 times, and it was a one of these new electronic ones, right?
Yeah.
One of the Alpride systems, and it didn't work. And then all of a sudden, it like took off like wildfire across social media about how these airbags, like, oh my gosh, will it actually inflate and save my life, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of. And then Duffy does a test, which I sent to you, so if you can get it pulled up, where he just kind of lays down in the snow, pulls it, and it inflates. And it's an Alpride system, right?
Yep.
And then people start like, well, what if the intake's plugged? Well, what if you're under the snow? What if try to come up with all these scenarios of what ifs will it inflate, right?
Yeah.
But but let's get to the heart of the matter. If you're in an avalanche and you're already like in the debris getting pushed around, the odds of you being able to pull that, um, pull your cord and release your avalanche bag is very slim. In
Yeah.
fact, uh, I know Matt Ant's firsthand experience, he said no, right? Watched him go down in an avalanche. By the time he was in the avalanche and realized he was caught in the avalanche, he said he physically couldn't pull his bag.
Yeah.
Last year, oh, there was the guy that was caught in an avalanche up in Indian Creek, right? I can't remember his name. He's from Pocatello. Anyways, again, by the time he realized he was in an avalanche, he couldn't pull his bag, right? And it was funny because he was on one of these lives with somebody, and his takeaway was, "I need to practice pulling my airbag so that next time," which is crazy to think. Like he's already planning on getting caught in an avalanche again, and his takeaway from being caught is, "I need to practice pulling my airbag and not get the education to not be in an avalanche," which just blows my mind in and
Yeah.
of itself, right?
Pretty wild.
And so, first off, like I'm over here watching this kind of go wild, and you're watching it, and we're texting back and forth, right?
Yeah.
Going, what are these guys like? What the heck is going on here? Why is this even? First off, why is this even getting any traction? Like, why is it?
I
Why?
I don't know. I thought it was kind of a silly thing when I first saw it, you know. I'm like, I'll give it a try though. I said I'll do it. I'll give it a try.
So you did it here the other day when you were out with a group of guys.
Yep.
Um, was it a skills clinic you were at, or
Yeah, I was teaching a riding clinic and somebody's asking me if I like my airbag and I was like, yeah, it's, when I pull it, it deploys. It's been great. It's lightweight, it's
and you've got the
electric.
new Ortavox bag, right?
Yeah, I
The
have the
free
new
ride lock.
electric and it's awesome. I love it. It's great. Truth be told, I haven't been wearing an airbag for a couple years. This is the
Right.
first airbag I've worn in some time, and it's it's mainly because I didn't have the room in my other pack. It's when we were going to all our pro courses, and I had to carry a bunch of stuff around with me. Snow science kit, stuff like that. But now that I have a bag, I was like, let's try it out, and it wanted to go. It fired up. Woo! Um, it put a little bit of air in the pack, but overall, it did not deploy. You know, but
So,
I literally
so
jumped off the back of my sled, like I used it as a springboard as I was doing a back flop in a swimming pool.
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I was down in there because I figure like if you're gonna do this, you gotta get the pack like fully buried in the snow, like a couple of the videos I've seen. Um,
like the one I sent you, he's just laying down in the snow, right? I didn't send you the one
yeah,
where he had him bury, like he had his group of guys that he was with that day, like literally bury him. The like just throw snow on him and
but
bury
we're
him, right? Like,
look, I love Duffy. I love him so much, but
dude, he's awesome. He gets
he
so much
is.
great information out there, but it's
However, we're
like
talking about
why?
Colorado here. It's nothing but facets. Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah, it's just
We
sugar.
we have a slab in Utah finally. We have a slab. When I did it, I was in a slab type territory.
Yeah,
But Colorado, it's facets. Yeah, I think everything deploys there. Um, facets aren't
yeah,
exactly stuck together. So
yeah. But as an avalanche professional and your airbag didn't go off, does that
yeah.
worry you?
No.
Are you even concerned?
No, it didn't worry me one bit. Um, because that's not when you deploy your airbag. You don't deploy your airbag when you're buried. You deploy it as the avalanche is starting, as it's beginning, as you're still cruising down the mountain, right? Before the snow consolidates and you're trapped in a tomb, that's when you deploy your airbag.
So You just mentioned that you went to a bunch of avalanche courses, like
Hmm.
professional avalanche courses, didn't have an airbag.
Yeah,
They still let you take the course.
they did. I know it was recommended that we carry one, but I've been out with a lot of forecasters who don't have airbags. I have been out with other avalanche professionals who don't use airbags.
Uh,
I
wonder
might get
what
tore up for
I'm
this, but what are you looking
trying
at?
to. I'm pulling up. Just there's been studies done right on the effectiveness of the airbag,
Yeah.
and I'm just trying to. I was interested in them because there's been some uh, what have saved. That's such a broad spectrum. The Utah Avalanche Center did a post on it. Um, Here, let's see, when did they do this airbag study? Bruce Tremper, right? So
Yep.
Bruce did a study. I'm trying to see if I can find the date on this study of like how if you had an airbag, if you didn't have an airbag, all of this. Where's a date? There's got to be a date on this thing somewhere, right? A timestamp of something. Um,
Like there's definitely obviously videos out there. Airbags do work in certain type of terrain, right? But they don't.
yeah, there's so many things that go into it, right?
Yeah.
Um, there so Bruce goes that there was a magazine advertisement for an avalanche airbag pack that claimed a 97% success rate in real world conditions, right? Then he goes on, he's like, what the advertisement didn't mention was that the people caught without an avalanche airbag have an 80 to 90% success rate. So so you're increasing your odds by potentially 7% with an airbag,
Yeah. Well,
right?
and I think the other thing
So
is it's terrain dependent, right?
100%, right? It's 100%. So he farther down, he says avalanche airbags would save only 3 out of 100 who would have otherwise have died.
Only three.
So only 3 out of 100. I mean, there's a lot that goes in this, right? But Bruce did
Yeah.
this whole study on it, and I remember. I mean, this study was from years ago, um, and in low consequence terrain, which it's low consequence, right? The airbag has a pretty good successful rate. In high consequence terrain, deep burials, trauma end up killing most people. Like the airbag has a very small success rate. And so, um, I guess at the end of the day, like I know we're talking about, you know, having an airbag that deploys all the time, right? Whether you're already caught in the avalanche or you're not. But
Yeah.
but the big takeaway should be don't rely on an airbag.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't. I go back to Plan A, right? Plan A is don't get in an avalanche, and I think that I mean, I have a pretty good handle on that. Um, you know,
I have a better handle than I did 5 years ago,
yeah, I
ten
was gonna
years ago.
say, definitely me 10 years ago. Yeah, probably needed an airbag when I went road, but it's a lot different now. The terrain that we ride is different, and really, some of the terrain I ride, an airbag would not be effective whatsoever. It would do nothing for me.
Well, like most of the stuff that like our play zones, like creek bottoms and stuff, like
Yeah.
we're digging in the creek bottom. It's not going to do us any bit of good, right?
Yeah.
I don't even think Dan. Do you know if does Dan still not wearing airbags?
I don't think so, you know.
Yeah. He's never worn one ever. I've gone with him.
Yeah, people when they find out that I didn't in the past, they were completely shocked. And then I explained to them, you know, how airbags work, where they work, and yeah, nothing.
Well, it's just one of those deals. Like it's not part of the essential gear, right, to travel in the backcountry, and travel in avalanche terrain.
Hmm.
You know, it's not a mandatory thing. If you're not wearing an airbag, doesn't bother me, right? But you better have the other tools.
Yeah. Yeah, the rescue tools are what are important, right?
Yeah, because the airbag can't. I mean, I can't pull your airbag for you when I see you're getting caught in an avalanche. Be like, oh, I'll help DJ out and pull your airbag. Doesn't do you a bit of good.
That'd be nice, but
Can you imagine? Can you imagine we could like Bluetooth into your air into our buddy's airbag, and he'd be driving around, and we'd just be like, boop, pop
oh
his
yeah,
airbag as he's kind of lying through
yeah.
the trees. Yeah, that'd
It's
be.
it's bad. I totally forget on my airbag. It's so sweet because the switch actually flips
Yeah.
and locks in and out. And I forget that I can do that, and I'm like rolling my sled over and accidental deployment all the time. And it's like they literally make a handle so that you'll stop doing this.
You know, I don't think I have actually ever once practiced pulling my airbag.
You're
I've
supposed
deployed
to.
it.
You should. You
I've
should build
deployed
that
it.
muscle memory, you know?
I should. I should be like, hey, I'm ready to get in an avalanche today. Let's practice pulling my airbag.
So, well, on this topic of the airbag video circulating around, is it just a fad or is it something?
Dude, I think it's a fad. I think at the end of the day, I mean, that's just gonna go by the wayside, right?
Yeah.
I see where Duffy's going with it. I see why Duffy's freaking
Yeah.
making these videos and keeping it in circulation. It
He's a
keeps
marketer, that
him.
man.
I mean,
He's a
that's what it is,
marketer.
right? Keeps him up on like, ooh, hey, people are sharing this
Yeah.
out. Like it's good for his image, and good for Duffy, right? And then
Yep.
it helps him
I dig
promote
it.
BCA, and he probably gets another free airbag because of it, because BCA freaking loves that guy.
He
And they're a good company.
does.
Then they make
Yeah,
good
he's
product.
yeah, yeah. No, it's good.
So,
I think it's a fad. But
yeah.
moving on.
Anyways,
Let's talk about
next.
courses, avalanche courses that
Okay.
we've completed so far this season. Um, we've been busy the last, what, 3, 4 weeks?
Yeah. So how many students have we gotten, in the last 3 weeks have come through Mountain Slayers?
Let's
Do you
see,
actually have that number?
we've done 4 courses. Um, let's see here. I want to say we've had almost 50, if not 50 people through this season so far.
And these are level one. Like this is most of these guys, it's their first time coming through
Yeah.
Avalanche education, right?
Yeah, I did teach a 101 this weekend when
Yeah.
you guys were doing the SAR deal. But yeah, most everyone's opting for level ones this year. And last year for me, the 101s were more popular, but this year the airy ones are, and rightfully so. You get a lot more knowledge out of that stuff, um, right?
The more time we can spend with them on the snow, just the better off they're going
Yeah,
to be, right? In a
yeah,
101, we got like 6 hours on the snow, right? And in a
yeah. And I feel
level
like in the
one, we're closer to like
101s,
16.
it's the 101 is so focused on rescue. I think it's almost a rescue course, you know. It's what it turns
But
into
it's
be. Well,
not.
it's
Well, yeah,
not,
because
but
that's all the time you got
it's
for,
not, but
right?
that's what people take away from it because they have like a limited amount of time, and the biggest shock to them is how poorly they've performed with their avalanche rescue tools, and that's like the takeaway they get. Versus when you have, you know, a day where you learn a little bit about a rescue and IDing terrain, you have a moment, a night to reflect on that, and then you can go into the next day and you can learn a little bit about snow science. And I think that helps it so you're not so overwhelmed on like, man, I gotta get on my game with rescue gear, right?
Well, and again, it's about the time that we have on the snow with them, and when in
Yeah,
101, you got 6 hours, and it takes. I mean, by the time you drive up in there, you get into the zone, you start talking about it, you set up, and you walk them through the avalanche or the rescue skills, right? And you do one scenario. It's like, well, we got like an hour and a half to talk about other avalanche stuff related,
yeah,
train ID and travel management and stuff like that, that you just don't have the time. You don't have the
yeah,
time in a 101, right? That's why it's a 101. That's why it's not certified. That's why it's
yeah,
just an introduction at the end of the day.
yeah. It's really,
Right.
it's like it kind of comes down to I want to get the departure check complete with these
Oh
people.
yeah.
I want to get them reading the forecast, the full forecast, and then rescue. That's all we can ask for.
So quite a bit of students, right? We got to teach one day on the snow, but you've taught with Aaron that one level one 2 days.
Yep.
Ours with Drew, and then me and Aaron did this last one, and you helped out day one for a little bit. But what I'm curious so far this year, what are like some things that you've seen in your students that are still catching you off guard or surprise you?
I think the biggest thing that catches me off guard, I probably transceiver still. You know, I just thought the word would have gotten out in the last few years. And especially when they're like, "Yeah, I've been to an Avalanche talk recently," and I've been to one too, and I know we talk about transceivers a little bit and what's good, what's bad, and people are just showing up with this archaic stuff. I mean, this stuff belongs in a museum.
Good. And the funny thing is they're on their sleds at least 5 years or newer, right?
Oh yeah, they have nice snowmobiles.
They've typically, not all the time, but they typically have pretty new gear,
Yeah,
and right.
they look good. They look good on the snow with their gear and their snowmobile.
And then they pull out this. I mean, it's crazy the fact that I'm still seeing analog transceivers
Yeah,
getting
same.
pulled out in the parking lot.
Yeah, they're so old that I don't even know what they are.
Um, I mean, we had to fiddle fart around with one the other day in my course that we did up out of Tibblefort, right?
Hmm.
Out of Noblets, and it. I'm like, oh my goodness, man, this is going to be rough when we go to teach you your
Yeah,
skills, but just to get it to turn on and off, and how to make sure it wasn't sending anymore, how to make sure it was still sending. Like, are we? Um, yeah, and I'm just sitting there going, and there's so many great transceivers out there on the market right now that are fairly inexpensive
yeah,
when you really look down to it, right? Like what, a Tracker S, which is a great transceiver for. I mean, it really is. It's a good transceiver, and it's like what, $300, brand new,
yeah.
if
They're
that.
Man. I've seen transceivers brand new as low as like 230. I want to say
Yeah,
there's some good deals out there.
yeah. Somebody sent me a deal here.
Ryan vanished. He vanished. Let's see if he joins us again. There you are.
Okay,
You
I don't know
vanished for a
how.
second.
Well, you vanished for a second. Not my fault. So I am in Idaho. I definitely don't have the internet that you have. Let's put it
This
that way.
is this is true.
Yeah. So um, I had a mom reach out to me the other day, and she's like, sent me like, "Hey, my kid is just getting into backcountry snowmobiling, and I want to know what gear." And I want to say like it was around that $225 for a brand new transceiver, brand new. You know,
Yeah,
and you got guys rolling around still that are avid snowmobilers, and they're rolling around with analog transceivers still. Blows my mind, man. Blows my mind. It's crazy.
It is. It's pretty wild. I think the other thing too is probes. I'm like, guys, you got to have good probes. They come to course. They're like, oh, I have more probes at home. I have better ones at home, newer ones at home. I said, okay, well, tomorrow bring that. And then they show up with their 20-year-old probe, and I can't even put the thing together. What are you going to do with this
Uh,
thing?
dude, we were had a guy that had the probe where you have to pull the line out and then like use the clip to clip it around to hold it
Yes,
in
I
place,
had one of
right?
those this weekend.
And you're just like, dude, for $60 you can go get a BCA probe. It's like snap, done. That's it. Just pull it, you're
Yeah.
done.
And
It's
I asked the
so
guy, I'm like,
slick.
well, why not this other one that you have? You have a newer one, or the bag that's on the sleeve on
Oh,
the stick
on
now.
the probe.
Still, yeah, it's that one's funny. I had a guy who like, well, I don't want to give you my sleeve because I take them from every single student, right, that has one. I said, give me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he didn't want to give it up, and he was kind of fighting me on it. And I'm like, well, why do you need it? And he's like, well, I keep it on my tunnel bag, and it gets snow in my probe, and then my probe freezes up. And I was like, we don't keep probes on our tunnel bag. He's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, we keep them
That's
in
it.
the backpack.
Yeah. Yeah. We were doing our trailhead check and I'm like, grab your shovel. And he's like, oh, I got to go to my snowmobile. And I'm like, what? Your snowmobile? What if your friend's dying over here and you got to hike back to your snowmobile to get your shovel? That goes in your backpack, bud.
I mean, it's good that like they're coming, they're getting the education, they're figuring it all out. Um, it's fun to see, but yeah, there's a lot of wrong ways of doing it out there.
So, uh, we don't want to harp on the bad, right? Let's talk about some of the good stuff. Like,
Yeah.
what have been some of the best takeaways that your students have brought up, or that you've noticed while you're instructing this year so far?
One thing that was really cool is I had a student, he was kind of jumping ahead of the course a little bit, and he was like, "Hey, do you teach the cross?" I was like, "What's the cross?" And find search.
Okay,
But he learned it as a cross, and I was like, "Oh, that's pretty cool that you learned that, you
yeah,
and took that away." I thought that was really neat.
yeah. We we were riding down the trail out of Noblet's parking lot, headed up to uh, well, towards Soapstone, and we're doing some terrain ID just along the trail. And this group of four people drive by us, typical Utah backcountry riders, and I'm sitting here going, are they on rental sleds? Is this a rental group? So you're looking at it and like, no, these are their sleds. And after they go by, every one of the students go, none of them are wearing backpacks. Not one
Yeah,
had a backpack on,
yeah,
right? And they're like, and then it was, do you think they got a shovel and a probe somewhere? Probably not,
no,
right? And then it was, well, do they have transceivers? Maybe they do. Maybe they got a transceiver on their back, and maybe they're shoveling their probes in their snowmobile, and they're not wearing backpacks. But not one of those four had a backpack on. Not one. And my students pointed it out
yeah,
to me, and I'm like, awesome. Like, if anything else, you guys are taking away the fact that like you can't be riding out here, even if you're trail riding,
yeah,
without having the essential gear, right?
yeah. I had a crew last year. I think the biggest thing is most guys are buying the gear. They're buying everything.
Yeah.
They don't really know how to use it, stuff like that, but they are purchasing it, and they do know that it's required somehow, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool to see.
Well, you saw the video Dan posted, or the Avalanche Alliance posted with
Uh-huh.
Adams, right? Where he's like, it doesn't matter how good of gear you've bought, if you haven't trained with it,
Yeah,
it's almost useless, right?
it is. It is.
Um, but the
Yeah,
fact that
I
our
love
students are
watching rescue
noticing,
scenarios. I love watching rescue
yeah,
scenarios. It's my favorite thing about teaching courses and just like the
especially level ones,
pandemonium and
right?
chaos. Like,
Especially when you got a group of guys that are like, "Oh, we got this." Oh yeah,
yeah,
dude, I've practiced. I practice off my gear all the time, right? And you're like, "Okay, we're just gonna throw a scenario at you," and
yep,
and you just walked through every step,
Yeah.
right? And then you
Yeah.
throw a scenario at you at them, and chaos still ensues.
Yeah. Always, every time.
They're running everywhere. God, man, I got videos of some of them. I should maybe share some, but I feel bad sharing it because I'm like, are you guys like? I must have been a really crappy instructor because I swear we just went over how you're supposed to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's funny. It's good. It's good to see people out here getting the training though. Like I've had a lot of fun teaching this year so far.
Yeah,
A lot of good
and
students.
it's been good to see a lot of the guys take away the fact that they've taken a level one now. They understand they didn't know what they didn't know,
Yep.
right? Most of the students are like, I've got to get all my buddies in a rescue course now because we didn't know how to use our gear.
Yeah.
Um, I've heard a couple of the students say like, well, I don't think I'm going to ride with that guy anymore because he just won't do this.
Yeah. I think the other big takeaway is people who, are physically not able to perform in rescues and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of that this year, and they're like totally aware of it. They're just like, hey, I make a bad rescuer, and I'm like, well, think of it this way: if you're with a group, there's other things you could be doing, and you know,
Yeah,
you could be calling 911, stuff like that. Like you could be calming the victims' friends down, whatever, you know.
yeah.
But it is a stark reminder that maybe if you're going to be traveling in avalanche terrain, you should somewhat be able to pull off a rescue.
Oh, dude, I felt that way this weekend at 10,500 feet. I
When
normally
you're
ride like
frozen.
frozen. I'm like, oh,
Uh,
I am out of shape and I have no air up here. I'm used to running around at 8,500 feet, which is crazy. You just go up 2,000 more feet and you're just like, oh my gosh, where's the air?
yeah,
But yeah, I like. I think some of the takeaway for some of these guys has been like, I'm not a really good partner in the backcountry,
yeah,
right?
yep,
Um, and I mean, we had a couple of guys that were just like, you know what? We can identify avalanche terrain now, and we don't. We're just gonna stay out of it because if one of us were to get caught, I mean, they're brothers. They're just like, if one of us was gonna get caught, like we probably both would die. I would die trying to get him, but I'm not going to get to him fast enough, and he would die anyway. So we're just going to stay out of avalanche terrain, right? So
I
good
mean,
takeaway.
it's a good plan, but I myself like steep terrain and just waiting for that snowpack to heal so I can venture into it.
Yeah, but we're getting there though. What have you seen? So during our level one, we do dig snow pits, right? We do go
Yep.
through the snow profile with our students. Of course, in a level one, we're not teaching them all the science of the snow pit, right? We're just
Yeah.
demonstrating the snowpack, right? So in doing that, DJ, what have you seen in the snow out there?
Well, Utah obviously has a persistent slab problem.
Hmm.
Um, we also have a wind problem lately, and the snow varies all over the state. It's kind of crazy. The Uintas have actually seen a lot more snowfall than the Wasatch this year, which is mind blowing because usually it's the reverse. On average, the Wasatch Mountains get about double the amount of snow the Uintas get. And
Wow.
in my snow pit, it was very obvious. I mean, I was at 10,500, almost 11,000 on Saturday, and
Hmm.
I dug a pit in the Wasatch, and I'm like, where's the snow? Like maybe in some spots, maybe 4 feet deep at the most,
Really?
but most of it was around 2 to 3 feet. You know, kind
That's
of
crazy.
kind of sad. I mean, I know the south slope of the wind is not doing too hot. The north slope's a lot better, where Steve Martin
Hmm.
rides everybody. Just hang out in
Yeah,
the
just go to
parking
Steve's
lot.
Zone. So if you take any away from this, just go ride Steve's Zone.
Just go ride Steve Zone. You can find him.
Yeah,
Just wait in the parking lot in the mornings, and you will
reach
find
out,
him.
reach out. DJ will give you a pin drop of his zone, and
I'll
you can
drop
just
you a
go run.
pin where his parking lot is, and then you can go follow him. And he's
Yeah,
been riding
if
some
you can
great
keep
snow.
up, if you can keep up with him, because that guy's
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
But
Well,
he
if you
rides
follow his
fast.
tracks, he gets stuck every once in a while. Don't let him
Oh,
fool you.
does he?
He does
Okay.
get stuck. He's going
Well, he's
so
running around
fast
on a
he misses
146
something.
though.
What was that?
He's still running around on a 146 though, right? So, or did he go to a
I was
156?
actually shocked he's got a 146 and a 54 this year. I'm like,
Ooh.
whoa, what do we like
He's
a
going long
54?
track.
Are
Ooh.
you sure you want that long of a track?
Oh shoot, that guy.
How's
But
I mean,
so like the Utah stuff, like that's what I noticed. I mean, you guys. I mean, depending on where I dug the pits, whether it was in the Uintas or down there on Skyline, I mean, there's almost 30 to 40 cm of facets at the base,
yeah,
right? And
yeah.
this is that persistent weak layer, right?
Early season was not good to us. It wasn't.
Yeah. But like in our pit, we on our course here yesterday, we were able to see wind slab slough off, really crazy reactive, which was good for the students to see. It was on a slope that had very low consequence. It ran like 1,500 feet. Um,
Wow.
yeah, like, and they were impressed at how, like, they're just like, it just kept going. It's like, yeah, just imagine if this was a much higher consequence slope, right?
Yeah,
What we
just
could take
imagine
a
if
look
it
at.
broke on the
And
PWL layer.
yeah, right. And stepped down to that. But
Yeah.
as we did our pit, and we were 60 to 90 cm from the PWL, right?
Hmm.
From that persistent weak layer there, where we had done our pit. And I mean, we did in our column tests and our compression tests, we were able to get some reaction to the PWL and some other layers that are in the snowpack. Um, we took a deep tap test to get the PWL to react. But in our ECT, like we got nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it's like okay, so in the right area, right scenario, you're getting enough snow. It's kind of fun and you know pretty game on. But like we definitely made sure to point out, like, watch guys, if we come down and we're only 40 cms from this persistent weak layer, watch this, right? And you get that reaction when you're close to it. So being able to point out, like, hey, look at where this, where the snowpack's deeper might be a little more stable, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But as you guys are rolling around on these rocks and these logs and around these trees where these trigger points, like as you get closer to this persistent weak layer, she's still reactive, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And really those wind slabs are probably growing big enough now that they might help, put
And it was cool because that's basically what the forecast said, right? Like
yeah.
the forecast is like new wind slabs, very reactive, very likely you're going to trigger a wind slab. And I probably would have said very certain. Like it was certain we
Very
were going to
certain.
trigger one that day, but very likely. And we did, right? And then, but it also pointed out in the forecast that, you know, where the deeper wind loading has been, you're less likely to trigger that persistent weak layer, right? And so
Yeah.
being able to have the students see that, read that in the forecast before we go out, see like, hey, this is why they moved wind drifted snow from like it wasn't even on there a list as a problem,
Yeah.
and they put it as number one. They moved persistent weak layer down to number two, and this is why, right? Like these forecasters know what they're doing. Trust them.
Yeah.
Read the forecast. Understand the forecast. Right?
Yep. Oh, you know what? Today is normally I read the forecast every single day, but today I didn't even look at it. I need to
Didn't
go
look at
check
it
it
then.
because I was making some predictions. I've been trying to make a little. Oh yeah, yeah, okay.
So you pulling the forecast up.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
What Utah Ivy?
Yep.
Which one? Uintas?
No, I was actually making some predictions on the Provo forecast.
And I haven't read the Provo one this year, right? I've read the Uintas. I've read the Logan one, and I was down here this last week in the Skyline
Yeah.
area, so I'm familiar with those forecasts. But I have never
Well,
read Provo.
when I'm going up AF, I read Provo and Salt Lake because it really sits on the border of the two.
Uh huh.
And I feel like the area that I like to ride most is more so on the border of the district. So, yeah, it varies. It always varies.
So it's green below 8,000, not what, 9,000 feet, 8,000 feet.
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
because
there's
there's
no
no
snow.
snow? Shoot. And we shouldn't say green, right? It's low, but it's because there's no snow. Let's be
Yeah, there's
honest,
no.
right? You got to have snow to have an avalanche, and when there's only 6 inches of snow, it's hard to have an avalanche.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
On the other hand, Idaho's snowpack's looking pretty good, man.
Yeah, what are you guys seeing? Well, have you even been home to ride, or you guys have just been
So,
working in
well,
Utah?
I
So,
rode pretty much. I did ride Tuesday last week, right? I
yeah,
went up into a zone, and heck, I'm going to announce it tonight, but um, rode a zone where we're going to be doing some avalanche education, and got in that and was super surprised at how well the snowpack is. First, we're riding around on top of things. I posted a video here, a little reel here 2 days ago or yesterday that's of that zone. Like we're on top, you're popping off of logs without worrying about hitting stuff underneath.
yeah,
Um, there's not a forecast for that zone, really. They're trying to get forecasting for it. So it's going to be nice to get out there, dig a pit. Haven't had time to dig one yet out there, but we'll be digging pits during our courses out there. So we'll get a better handle on that. But Island Park, where we've gone out with the forecasters a couple of times, 3 times this year, we've been able to see that snowpack, and it's pretty promising. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for us.
yeah,
So I was concerned about it early on, but man, again, where the snowpack is shallow, still probably fairly considerable. Probably pretty likely that a human's going to trigger an avalanche where that snowpack's shallow.
yeah,
But where we've got that deeper snowpack, where there's been some wind loading, and it's been a week since we've had any real new snow, those wind loaded problems are kind of going away, and it's kind of stabilized the snowpack.
nice.
I wouldn't say game on, like go everywhere. I don't know if I'd go climb Widowmaker on the backside of Jefferson yet, but we
There's
could
only one way to
try.
find out. Well, yeah, I've been being careful lately because of I ripped a track off already this year, and
No,
I
dude.
dented an A arm. Mother
I
Nature,
twisted my ski this weekend. I twisted the ski on a log,
yeah,
side hill through the trees, and all of a sudden tagged a log and pushed me down in. And I get down there, and my skis all like, "Whoop." So I got to straighten
yeah.
that out from the Utah
I
stuff.
forgot to tell you guys. Every time I've side hilled something down there, I've hit something.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the heads up. Thanks for the heads up
So
because you
it's
did not give us
just,
that.
yeah, yeah. You gotta. I think it's the wind down there just takes away
Oh
all
man,
the
it's horrible.
snow. It just moves it all.
And the snowpack's slow, right? But hey,
Yeah,
it's the greatest snow on earth.
it is. It's Utah. It's the greatest snow on earth. Come ride with me. Come on. Come on.
Oh man, I'm supposed to supposed to ride Tuesday, but I don't think I'm gonna make it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll try and get out Tuesday up here before heading
I
over
think.
to Oregon.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I was supposed to go to Oregon with you guys.
Yeah, you're bailing on us.
Oh, I got a level two. We're teaching level two this week.
Where are you
Yeah,
teaching that out
upcoming
of?
courses. Stock upcoming courses. So my next course is a level two here. We're doing it here up in the Uintas. It'd be good. It'd be a lot of fun. We got a couple guys signed up for that one. Not a big class, but level twos are always hard to get a lot of people, you know?
You got room for a couple more though, right? If somebody wanted to
Yeah, we
join
got
in.
room. We got room for some guys Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when it is going down.
So me and Aaron are headed over to Oregon with the Wallowa Avalanche Center.
Yeah, riding
Right.
clinic, right?
We got
And
a
a level
2 day
one.
riding clinic and then a level one right after the 2 day riding clinic, right? So we'll
Nice.
start that. We'll start that 2 day, that level one Friday night, and carry that through Sunday.
Yeah.
And then, oh, dude, I gotta look at the calendar. Um,
I get anxiety every time I look at the calendar.
well, it's like I've got everybody like, hey, let's go ride. And I'm like, oh man, like I want to go ride with you, but unless you can ride during the week, I'm not gonna be able to ride with you, right? So
It's this Wednesday, it's my birthday ride.
I
We're gonna
know, and we're
go
driving it halfway.
we're
You're
gonna go
supposed
get
to be with us
crazy.
over there, so
I
we could
know.
get crazy. So who you riding with? Let me see. So Steve, you're gonna go out with Steve.
I don't know. I think Steve's still working until Thursday.
Oh,
I
so
got
who you
Cody
gonna bring
Dean
with?
out though. Cody Dean's gonna come.
Cody? Is Steph coming? She getting a
No.
babysitter so she can come?
She no,
Just bring the babies. Strap
right?
them on the back. Let's
Strap the
go. Bring
babies
the
on.
kids.
So Cody, I'm hoping Weston's gonna make it out. Um, I gotta call some more people, but yeah, if you shred and you have avalanche education, you can come with us. But you got to be able to have, you got to make smart decisions where we're going. So
Where are you gonna go?
I'm not telling you.
Come on. Oh,
Somewhere where Dan thinks it's his zone, but it's actually my zone.
you going to Candyland? You going
No,
to Candyland? Is
no,
there
I'm
any
not
more
going in
snow to going to
there.
Candyland?
Dan already burned
No,
that up, so I'm not going there. And
I saw a video. They were in there here this last week, huh?
yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah. My
burned up.
phone. I think my phone was dead when he called. Had it
Yeah,
been.
he didn't call or text me either. Dan didn't say shit. But hey, I was teaching a course and I didn't reach out to him either.
It's
So
true.
we've been turning and burning. So that's this week, right? Next week, I'm hoping to have a rescue course in Logan, finish up that course that we didn't, that makeup day that we couldn't get up the canyon because they closed the canyon. So
Yeah,
we couldn't do that rescue. I was
I
really
got.
hoping that we were going to be able to do a level one that weekend in Logan, but Forest Service has boned us there, right?
Yeah, I guess they lost their permit admin or something. I don't know. I know what the story is, but it's a bummer either way.
Either
It's a
way, it kind
bummer
of
that we
sucks.
got to have permits to teach avalanche courses.
It's a bummer that it's a difficulty to do that, right? So I think that weekend I might actually have time to ride next weekend and hopefully get my kids out on the snow.
Ooh, nice. Let's see. I got another level two going on next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's the 29th through the 31st. Or
Where's
maybe
that at?
it's, no, never mind. We're doing a classroom session Wednesday night, on the snow Tuesday, on the snow Friday, on the snow Saturday. Down in Ephraim again with a bunch of STAR guys.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The level two down there.
Yep. And then the following weekend, which will put us into February the 7th, 8th. So the 8th, ninth, there's a level one going on here. I think we got
So are we
like
still
five or
doing that
six
one down
guys signed up
south?
for that.
Is that one still going to be down south? Or is it
That'll no, it's gonna be we're gonna do it probably in the Uintas.
because you were talking about potentially being down in the LaSalle, right?
Yeah. So that level two, that's the 30th, 31st, and first. That's all in the LaSalle's.
Okay,
And then the next weekend, 7th, 8th, ninth, that's probably the Uintas. And then we have another level two going on the 14th, 15th, 16th, which we have, I think, six guys signed up for that one.
sweet.
And then I might sneak a dirt bike race in February 22nd.
Where?
I know, I know.
Arizona, Arizona, or what?
No, St. George, the Rhino Route is
Mexico,
coming up. The Rhino Route is
dude.
coming
It's
up
gonna be
because,
like 40 degrees down there.
dude, because once we hit March, when we hit March, it's wild. There's avalanche courses, dirt bike racing, all the stuff in March in Utah. It's just out of control. So I think February 22nd's like the next free weekend I have to to potentially go somewhere and
Well,
ride.
I might need your help up here that weekend teaching a rescue course. If you
I
get
mean,
me fixed set up.
I'd love to come up and it's always fun to teach in new places and look at different snowpacks and oh, it's a blast. I'd love to come up to Idaho and do that.
So, I mean, our February is fairly open right now, but I do know that the 21st we're talking about highly likely, like 99%. We're doing a rescue course here in
Oh,
Idaho
sweet.
Falls. Um, I think we already got like so far we have like six committed and potentially five more that said that as long as they can make like they should be able to make that day work, right? And so
Yeah.
um, we'll do the rescue course that weekend, the 28th, the 1st, and the 2nd. We've got a course over in McCall with Brundage Mountain Resort.
Oh, sweet.
And that one's going to be a little interesting because I mean, we're cooperating with a lot of people on that one, right? So we're cooperating with Brundage, which is going to be sweet because they're giving us the facility. They're letting us use their guides to get us. We're doing it on their permit, right?
Yep.
We're bringing Cody Richmond, the director of the Friends of the Sawtooth Avalanche Center. He's a motorized instructor. He's coming over to help instruct. Aaron's there. We've got it turned up to, we've got an agreement that I think they agreed to have up to 18 students in the course.
Nice.
So there's potential we might need your help there too. Because I think that same weekend we're going to shoot for a level one here again out at Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
So Stable Mountain's got as long as the paperwork gets filed, right? We've got a sweet email over the weekend that said they're going to give us some user days here in the Palisades district, and so specifically to teach avalanche education right here at Idaho Falls. And so,
That's
uh,
good, man.
yeah, it's been a
I'm
long time
stoked.
coming. We're stoked with it. So we want to get a level one in. We want to get some rescues in. And ideally, that's basically going to be the February time. We're going to try and get as many of that in February. Um, Potentially try to get a level two put in before the
Yeah.
end of the year out of here as well. Um, but we're working with a couple of groups that already are like, we can get you 12 signed up tomorrow. You just tell us days, right? And so we're kind of working with them to figure out what days are going to work best. And then if we've already got 12, we can open it up to another six easy between you or Drew or Miller brother Randy. I mean, we've got instructors here that we can hopefully fill those courses up and get a lot of people that are here that haven't had an opportunity to get courses without having to drive some distance.
Yeah. So I can tell people too if none of our dates ever work for you guys, reach out, private courses all day long, man. I set those things up all day long. And if weekdays work good, I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Like, and that's it, right? So that's why we're working with these groups to be like, well, if you think you got 6 to 12 people already, like, let's figure out what dates work for you guys,
Yeah.
and we'll make it work on our end, right?
Yeah.
So potentially a really big, really busy close out of the season here for us.
Yeah.
Right? It'll be good. It'll be super
Yeah.
good, and we're stoked. Like it's really hard for me to hide my excitement right now of how stoked I am. I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself because there's still some paperwork that's got to be finalized. But it was like, hey, we are giving you these many user days to utilize in this zone. They're going to give us the map of the area that we're going to be allowed to utilize, what parking lots we'll be able to get into. Which the cool thing is this zone is a local zone. Like like this isn't one that's talked about.
Yeah.
Very few people know about it. Now locals go in there, and so it's going to be awesome to take. take people in there and teach them
Are
avalanche
the
education.
are the locals going to be pissed off about
Probably the locals
it?
are the ones that should be going to the course. So,
Isn't
like,
that the
reality
truth?
is,
Isn't that the
like,
truth?
the ones that are going to be mad that we're taking people in there to teach avalanche education are the guys that need the avalanche education because they've been in avalanches and they just keep
Yeah.
getting in them. So,
It's so funny that
um,
you say that. I run into guys all the time. They've been in multiple avalanches and they're always like, "Man, DJ, I need to come out one day." And I'm like, "Dude, like what are you waiting for?"
I know. Uh, and the thing is like they're friends and they're good riders. So it's
Yeah.
like, dude, we could have a killer course and a blast on the snow.
Oh yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
Could
Just
you
do it.
imagine where we could go like with insanely good ride like the terrain that we could talk about? Oh
Oh,
man.
could have so much fun, man. And
Yeah.
that's, I guess, that's why I like level twos so much because typically the level two guys
Hmm.
are pretty decent riders, right? And
Yeah,
we
you get to
cover
put
so much
level two riders
terrain.
in. You get to put them in some terrain. I mean, that's that's part of the level
Yeah.
two. It's like if you really want to ride some cool stuff, our Utah course, the level two, I put on. It's in a fun zone, and dude, the riding's unreal.
Well, because you got to be in it.
Yeah.
You got to be in it, right? Because we've gone from teaching you how like more avoidance and now more management, right? We're
Yep.
taking it to that next step of, all right, here we're kind of like avoid, avoid, avoid. You can still go ride every day, but avoid this, right?
Yeah.
And now level two, it's like, how are you going to get through this on today
Yeah.
with today's concerns? Like this is our concern today. This is where that concern lies. This is the snowpack we have. But we're riding this zone. How are we going to ride this zone? You tell
Right.
us,
Yeah. How do you
right?
actually ride in this stuff? That's
Yeah.
that's what we're teaching in level two is how do you ride this stuff?
And
It's good.
ride it and be safe, right? And
Yeah.
come back home and not get caught in an avalanche and not need plan B, which is your rescue,
Yep.
right?
This is true.
Because we can do that. So,
Sweet. Well,
well,
we've been going at
until
it for an
next,
hour, so
yeah. Well, till next time.
yeah.
Unless you got some other crazy video you want to talk about.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I'm still puzzled as to why my videos of me doing silly stuff in the meadows go so big.
because
I,
because you want to know why, DJ? I'll tell you why. You want to know why? You want to know the secret?
let's hear it.
It's because it looks like a garden gnome is driving a snowmobile.
Oh, no. It's
Oh
true.
shoot! They're like, oh my gosh, he can actually reach the handlebars.
Yeah, barely. And I have the
Oh,
short riser.
ooh! Just imagine, oh dude, if you had a 4-inch riser, it'd be like ape hangers.
It would be. Yeah, I get on some people's sleds and I'm like, dude, what are you
Shoot!
doing, man?
I'm gonna get a custom made garden gnome with your face on it.
One of my buddies was over tonight picking up some parts, and we're laughing about one of our friends because we were talking about how much we like 65s, and our buddy
Huh?
rides a 54, but he's like super tall, and we're like, yeah, but you know, every time he like almost just wheelies the thing over, he just puts his leg back behind him and steps on
Yep.
the ground. Like it's the
Yeah.
craziest thing to watch. He's just like, oh, it's just a toy, I'm just back here with my small toy of a snowmobile.
You're over here, you put your leg out and you don't even touch the snow.
Yeah. No, I don't. I'll fall off the sled.
That's why you can't do re-entries in bow
Yeah, I can.
ties.
Uh-huh.
What?
Uh-huh.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, I know because I never film them. I need to film those.
Uh, it's not on camera. Didn't happen. Just saying,
It's
Deej.
true.
So,
I got a new thing. I haven't been filming lately because I broke my Insta 360 cam.
but I thought they were the shiznit.
They are. It wasn't. Two things happened. Steve's kid I put on the front of his sled when he's racing,
Uh
and he
huh.
broke the stick, and it kind of like jacked up the bottom of the camera. And then I went and I actually broke it when I was messing with it one day. And so I ordered a new cage thing for it, a metal cage, so that we can not break things around here. So
I gotcha. Is it
some
metal or
video.
aluminum?
It's I think it's aluminum. Snow's
Yeah,
gonna stick to it, but
it's gonna
whatever.
be cold.
Yeah.
I'm able to get it apart. Maybe you won't break it though.
We'll see. We'll see. I
Dude, I
gotta give
thought
it.
Insta was the way to go. Like everybody's
Oh,
talking
dude,
about
it
the
is.
Insta 360. Like it's the way to go.
It's so cool. It's not for snowcross racing on kid sleds, okay?
But you can just stick a pole up in the meadow and drive around it and film yourself.
Yeah, the tracking on it is so cool, just doing
Yeah,
donuts. The
we can definitely figure
Insta360
that.
is a sweet camera. I'm way more impressed with it than a GoPro. That's for sure. GoPros, I just got a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah. Well, they came out with the. Have you done the 360 little action camera instead of the Insta action whatever they're calling? I just saw an ad for.
I haven't. I haven't. I know. I mean, GoPro's been making a 360 camera for a while, but I've never messed with it.
GoPro's 360 is no longer around.
Yeah.
I think they stopped making it, right? But Insta 360, I thought I saw Insta came out with an action camera.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't messed with
Mhm.
that one. That now that I'm an Instagram influencer.
Yeah,
That's how I
yeah.
got my X. That's how I got the new
What did
X4.
they call that? The Ace? Is that what they're calling it?
I don't know what they're calling it. I did see it. I should hit up
Yeah, the Ace.
my
The
contacts at
Ace
Insta though and check it out. That'd be cool.
Ace Pro. Let's see. You need an Ace Pro, boss.
I do. I should tell him. I should be like, hey, I broke the X4.
You need
Maybe
to tell
the
them, right? Maybe the Ace Pro should be good. Like I'm on their site right now looking at this Ace Pro, and it's supposed to be so much better than GoPro. You better figure it out. Oh, it
I
looks like
better.
you have to have a waterproof case for it that you don't need on the GoPro, but you're going to need it for this guy. So, but
We'll see.
all your influencing you're doing, DJ, you better get her.
Right. Right.
Get it. We'll take it out. We'll compare it. Blair sent me a GoPro 12, so you know, so I got a
Oh,
new GoPro.
fancy. Fancy.
Yeah, because I bought a sled.
Smart.
Anyway, well, Deej, I guess we'll miss you on your birthday, man.
Okay. We'll have fun in Oregon.
Happy birthday.
Thanks. We'll hop on and do this again soon.
Yeah, next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
We'll be driving. I'll be in the truck with Aaron, probably driving home.
All right. We'll see if we can make it work.
I think we should be able to.
As long as you're not on that stretch between halfway and I-84, right? Is that
As
what
long as
freeway
we, as long, yeah, as long as we get on, I don't know, like to what is that? Uh,
Let's do it after you get to
as long as we're
Boise.
in Idaho, we'll be good. We'll just say as long as we're in Idaho, right? Because
Yeah,
then we're right there on the border, Oregon and Idaho. From there, we got cell service all the way. So
cool. All right.
and good